Today, in my next installment in my Wizard of Oz series of reviews, we are talking about Oz, the Great and Powerful. This is the most interesting, I think, of these films. I maybe Return to Oz has its beat a little bit. And if you don't know, I'm reviewing a bunch of Wizard of Oz related movies because Wicked's coming out soon, so I want to talk about some of the weirder Wizard of Oz adaptations that no one talks about. Or if they do, it's not enough. And this is one of the ones I wanted to talk about. This is such an odd movie because essentially, this movie is directed by Sam Raimi. That's right. There's a Wizard of Oz movie directed by the guy who did the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and the Evil Dead movies and Drag Me to Hell. Weird sentence, I know. It was made by Disney of all people, and it was a hit, and yet it's kind of this movie that's seen as a bomb and nobody talks about or cares, but it was a hit. It's kind of a weird movie. There's a guy on YouTube who talks about some of these Disney movies that were made to be the next big thing and they were failures. This is one of the few ones he talked about that was a success, but the reason it didn't get a sequel is because all the people that greenlit it at Disney had left, and there was no reason to really ever do a sequel, which is good because this movie's not good. And it's really unfortunate because I remember it being a lot better than it is. The thing with this movie is there are things that really are phenomenal about this movie and I think are really great and should definitely be embraced by other Wizard of Oz adaptations. But then there's other aspects of this movie that are kind of weird. I really like the concept of this movie, which is you got the wizard from the original Wizard of Oz, and it's a prequel about how he got there, how he became known as this Wizard of Oz. It doesn't fully make sense in continuity with the Wizard of Oz, but this movie, in a way, is by kind of being its own thing, so I'm okay with that. But it is a clever idea to kind of show how that guy got there and tell this story that's interesting, and they play around with that. And then you have, the little China girl, which is an incredible special effects. Her some of the sound design with that character are incredible. The monkey side character, winged monkey character being a sidekick is actually a clever idea, and if they had done it, if they had written better jokes for him and made him a more interesting side character, that could have been really cool. But for the most part, I think this movie is just not great because Sam Raimi has some great moments of direction here, but he's just really not the person that you'd want directing a big budget film like this. He works better in the smaller avant-garde kind of horror movies, and you watch this film and it doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi movie, especially since he's a very practical filmmaker, and a lot of this movie is on green screens that I don't think they actually look that bad. I think the problem with this movie is it's not that the green screen actually looks bad, it's that so much of the effects here are way too bright. Like, I know Oz is supposed to be colorful, but they really went over the top with the brightness. And so the movie just comes like this ugly, saturated look. I think the effects would have been fine otherwise. But then you also got the another great aspect about this film, the black and white sequence. It's the best directed sequence. Clearly Sam Raimi really knew what he was doing there with that and trying to pay homage to the original Wizard of Oz turning into color. That's a really clever sequence. That's incredible. And then the other aspect to this movie that is bad, I will just say straight up, is the Wicked Witch. Why did you cast Mila Kunis? In fact, that's the biggest problem with this movie, to be honest, is so much of the miscasting. James Franco is not great at being this con man, a wizard. He's just really bad. He almost acts like he doesn't want to be there a lot of the time. At least that's the vibe I get from his performance. And then Mila Kunis is just like such an odd performance. She's not great. She's clearly not meant for this kind of role, and she's really terrible. So yeah, this not good. I will never watch it again. This is interesting because I actually remembered enjoying it and finding this film underrated. But honestly, rewatching this, I don't like this movie. There are some amazing aspects about it. It's got some unique things about it, like some of the cool sound design and visual effects at certain points. But it's all drowned out by how terrible this film looks, how awkward the acting is, and just it not really feeling like a Sam Raimi movie. Why would you get Sam Raimi and not let him cook? Like, damn. Yeah, it's not a great movie. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.